All right, welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I'm Julian, here with Kewley. I'm here with Daz O'Connor. We'll get right into it. We're going to be talking about Jordan Henderson, the Saudis, our midfield, what's going to happen. Glenn, I know you're not very happy. You've been fuming for the past 48 hours. I'm going to start it off with you. Bring it out. Bring out your thoughts, your feelings, your frustrations. Go on, get it all out of you. Go.
I'm a bit of everything, to be honest with you. I'm really, really sad about it. This sort of stuff, like we've been knocking about long enough now to know that there's no smoke without fire, and because it's going everywhere, it just seems like it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I'm absolutely devastated that he's going, for one. I'm fuming with the club, the fact that they're going to let it happen. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I can't actually get my head around why it makes sense, other than, the amount of dough he's going to make himself. I've got so many questions of why he would do it, other than the dough, for all the other stuff and the amount of stuff that he said. But I'm just more pissed off with the club, to be honest with you. Like, with all the stuff that we've got going on, to let him go, it's absolutely berserk, to be fair.
Darren.
I don't know.
I'll pass it to you.
I feel the same way as Glenn a bit. I mean, not as angry or emotionally disturbed, but it's just happened really quickly. It's kind of hit like a ton of bricks. I'm just kind of don't really know how to think, to be honest. I mean, just because we've known Hendo straight up kind of fella, and with the whole human rights and everything else that goes with it, laces out has been a big spokesperson for them, because I saw they came out today and put out like a statement saying they hope he's not going. But I mean, 700k a week. I mean, any of us, you have a job and you get offered more money. What are you going to do? I mean, 99% you're going to go to that next job, aren't you? But yeah, it's just it's a weird one. I'm with Glenn. The club should have done a lot better and like phased these players out gradually. I mean, to lose Milner and Hendo and maybe Fabinho in the same summer, that's madness to me.
Well, it goes back, doesn't it? And we've spoken about this a number of times. It goes back to poor planning. A successful squad you build towards the future, so that you have players like Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, to maybe to a lesser extent with his age, but you bring in players that can compete, right, for a season, 2 seasons, that when a Henderson is ready to go, or when a Fabinho is ready to go, you have someone that is ready made, that has had the games, that is able to come in and provide that same quality. What you're seeing now is an effect of the past 2 to 3 seasons where we haven't really addressed the potential problems in the squad. Yeah, of course, we nearly won the quad. Fantastic. And we were brilliant, but you still have to prepare in the background and say, hey, in a couple of years or in a season or two, this is probably going to be getting close to the end for us. We need to look towards the future and bring in some real quality. And we didn't really do that. I mean, the fact that we signed up until the recent signings of McAllister and Szoboszlai, Thiago, one midfielder in like 4 seasons, is ridiculous. That's terrible planning. And now it's coming to essentially an apex where you have a big problem. You look at the squad. If Henderson does leave and Fabinho does leave, then there's some gaps. You need replacements for them. But we went into the summer break needing additional, not replacements, we needed additional players on top of what we already had. So then it comes back to, well, okay, we made some brilliant signings with McAllister, it looks like. Fantastic fee, great deal. Soboslai looks like he could be potentially brilliant, right? But you're still lacking the area in our team, I think, that we struggled most for last season, which was the defense and defensive midfield. Fabinho was poor for the majority of the season, but he had no real competition. Bajcetic came in and did really well, but he's not someone you can rely on going into the next season. He's someone that, you want to bring in and out, of matches. You don't want to rely on him. And just to wrap this up on this bit, the Henderson thing, it feels like that it did come out of nowhere, which tells me that potentially his agent put the word out that, hey, what could I be looking at if I was to, move? What wage would I get, rather than the Saudis just coming out of nowhere and saying, let's go for Henderson, when you would think Henderson is someone that would never leave Liverpool, and it's not worth like us trying it. It feels like it's coming a little bit from his end, with the fact that the latest is that he's accepted whatever they've offered, and now it comes down to how much the team are going to offer us. So your thoughts are on that?
Do you know what though? I think like let's say this was next year. Like, obviously from Henderson's point of view, he's thinking, well, the same offer may not be available, then there might be certain things in place there where you can't do these deals with Saudi and stuff. But from the club's point of view, like, they're looking at it and going, right, well, we're going to get massive wage off the bill, like 250 grand a week or whatever he's on, and they're talking at maybe getting 10, 20 million, and they're looking at it from that point of view. But which I get from that side of it, aging footballer, 33 years old. But it's all the other shit and all the other stuff that he does that gets that's unnoticed, that we spoke about before. And to let go of that with such, like, we could have this season could be where we're not just players, not just 5 out, 5 in, 5 fucking midfielders out in the same window. Like, how is that? Like, I've not defended it, but I've been a bit more like, okay, I sort of understand, like, if there's a Bellingham plan, if there's a longer term plan with like younger midfielders, I sort of get it. And I think that's why I'm so fucking annoyed about it, actually, is the fact that there just doesn't seem to be any type of joined up thinking at all. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. The fact they've put in bids as well, that sort of says, well, I mean, we're talking that the Henderson side's been agreed. So if the Henderson side's been agreed, then it's absolutely sickening to say, but it looks like it's done.
Well, it feels like almost that the club, they're looking at the wage, they're looking to get a fee in, but they're also looking that potentially, hey, we can't, we're not being allowed to sign another midfielder or two until we remove some players off the books, because it was only early last week that the Turan was too expensive, and Romeo Lavea, I think I pronounced his right, was too expensive. We weren't going to pay that. And then immediately, like a few days later, the Henderson thing comes out, and then the Fabinho rumors come out as well. And it's extremely messy. It's extremely Daz, go.
It's a smack in the face. I don't understand it. We've let 4 players go on a free, and then we've got 2 more midfielders that look like they're out the door for about 60 million combined. That is wages off the books, but I just thought that the sell to buy was kind of gone for this summer. I really did. I mean, the lad from Southampton looks like he'll be coming in. I mean, we really don't know the ins and outs of Liverpool Football Club, but he looks like, all the reliable journos are saying it's him, But I thought he would be coming in as an addition, because we cannot expect, if Fabinho goes, we already have an 18-year-old in Bajcetic, right? How do we expect a 19-year-old to come in after only playing 1 season of Premier League football and to fill that spot? I don't understand it. We need, I mean, we should be looking at players like Rice, Caicedo, players like that have played the Premier League for a while. You know, I'm just starting to get like, I don't know what's going on with the club. I don't know whether it's Klopp. I don't know whether it's the hierarchy that's telling him, like, you've got to sell these players. I don't quite understand what's going on. I think what we lack is transparency from the club, and it's been like that for a little while.
I would lean towards like the latter. I could not believe for one moment that Klopp would be happy with Henderson leaving. It makes, and there was, that doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, Henderson, that makes sense. Yeah, you go. It's okay. I don't have any leaders in my team now, but that's all right. Go on, off you go, Henderson. It makes no sense. It feels like to me we have to remove a couple of midfielders to bring in two more, and if we don't do that, and then they've looked at it and they've looked at the age, they've looked at Henderson, looked at where he's at, what he's at, the wages, etc. All that, they're looking at it. I don't agree with it. That makes sense. And he wants to go as well, apparently. So even if the Saudi bid, even if it doesn't, even it's not acceptable for the club, how's it going to look on Henderson now with his reputation, considering apparently he's accepted everything? How's it going to look like for him coming back? But it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible planning. It's awful.
Do you know what though? I disagree. I actually think that. I mean, there can't be a situation where, I mean, this is what's making it absolutely mad. Like, obviously, Klopp wouldn't want him to go. There's no way. But also, if Klopp, I don't think Klopp has said he's not going. If Klopp said he's not going, I don't think he goes. So I think it's a case of Jordan Henderson's gone to Klopp and said, right, well, I've got this absolute mountain of dough that I'm going to get over there, and I'm getting all this dough. I'm not going to get much games. I want to go. And Klopp's went, well, he's always had that sort of like, if you want to sort of go, you can go policy, which is absolute in this situation. It's absolute bollocks. You just don't let your captain leave. You just don't with no type. It's so out of the blue. It's insane. But can we just speak about Fabinho for a minute? Because I'm not a thing about Fabinho. Like, if somebody said to you at the start, well, near the end of last season, that Fabinho would go and you get offered 40, 50 million, would you have took it? Seriously, would you have took it?
No, to be blunt. No, you're talking after the near quad season.
No.
Or when?
At the back end of last season. If somebody said to you, you're gonna get 40, 50 million for Fabinho, and you're gonna get wages off the bill, would you have took it?
I would answer that with what I'm going to answer with how it looks today. Yes, I would take it as long as we bring in someone that is world class and ready to step into our team that has experience at the top level. Then I would say, yeah, let's upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what I would do.
And that's why I'm not as thing with Fabinho, to be honest with you.
I just don't trust it. I don't trust the club, but we're going to. Hopefully they do, but with the ones that we've been seriously linked with, I won't say any of them are ready consistently to play in that role. Maybe Tuchumeli, I should say his name right, but even he wasn't great at Real Madrid, so I don't know.
But Julian, he's class. We've been linked with lots of players. So who we've been linked with is just all the bollocks, isn't it? We've linked with Gravenberg for loads of the summer.
Yeah.
Like, and the next minute, Zawajski or whatever his face is, he comes in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be thinking about who we've been linked with and who we haven't. It's, no one else will pull someone out of our arse. It's just one of them. But I just can't. With him, with the Fabinho one, I'm a bit more like, okay. I could sort of accept it a little bit more. The fact that it's like the middle of July though, like we had those two lads in. I'm thinking, all right, we've got those two lads in. Maybe we're going to bring one more midfielder in, And if anything, if of all the midfielders I've said to use to, I'd be happy for him to go, and with basically not really any fee or maybe 5 million, 10 million would be Thiago.
Yeah,
that would be the one player that I absolutely love and adore, and is one of the best footballers I've seen kick a football for Liverpool. But he's been so injury prone. He doesn't really suit anywhere in this new system. out of the three of them, he's the one that I would have said, well, I'll let him go and we keep the other two. And it looks like he's going to stay. The two are going to go. So,
well, he's on massive wages and brilliant player when fit. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how he's going to fit in. But if you look at the timeline of this, actually, now you bring up Thiago, it's kind of interesting that, like, it was early last week, we're told that the fees for the players were linked with is too much. Then Thiago gets linked to different clubs, and then it comes out and says, "Oh, Thiago wants to stay. He's not leaving. He's happy. He's just had a baby. He's staying in Liverpool." And then 2 days later, it comes out that Henderson, that's a Saudi, and then a day after that, it comes out that Fabinho is a Saudi. It feels like, I don't know. It feels like we tried to maybe let's start with Thiago, and this is shooting into thin air, right? But it feels like, we're like, let's see, who's in. Maybe we can get Thiago out. Let's see what the options are here. And then when that became a complete, no, he's not going, then it moved on. But yeah, it's Thiago would be the one out of the three. But the leadership of Henderson behind the scenes, going back to what you said originally, I mean, it's massive. It's huge. And to lose him, to lose Milner, and then characters like, Firmino, doesn't sit well.
No, not at all. Like, it's just poor planning, isn't it? Like, just, I don't understand this club sometimes. It's well, I mean, you've got to say, like, that this is the biggest transfer window we've had in a very, very long time, and we need to get it right. And if we don't get it right, September 2nd, the pitchforks will be out for FSG. Full stop.
We should have had a clue that something wasn't going to go smooth sailing this summer when we signed Arthur in January to solve our midfield crisis.
It wasn't signed in January. It was signed in the very, very back end of the thingy window.
Whenever we sign the fella,
very last minute, we had the interview. I think he gets banded about a bit too much, to be fair.
Well, come on, but it is a massive. I mean, this is a huge summer because, yeah, we're playing catch up on what we haven't done in previous summers. We haven't reinvested enough within the squad, and we haven't even got to the centre backs yet, because that's probably all for another pod. But that was another issue last season that we thought might be changed up a little bit in the summer. Nothing's happened yet, but midfield still, and we're still fairly early. I know pre-season has started, a lot can happen, and for all we know, Henderson, they might not pay the money and he might stay, and it might be Fabinho that's out. But that's still, I mean, Fabinho going that leaves a massive problem unless we bring in a couple of players to replace him, because you need two. You need, one maybe for the future, and you need one that's ready now.
Well, I mean, I think a good transfer window to me would be Caicedo, Lavia, and Colwell.
Yes.
Where are we getting the goal for that?
But
I think where are we getting the goal for that?
Well, no, I'm saying that. I mean, obviously, I'm not being realistic. Neither is.
In that case, fucking then at the time we got Mbappe.
I know.
Let's get fucking Ronaldo from the Brazilian one. If we can clone him as well. And
there's the grumpy Glenn. I know.
Yeah.
Go on, lads.
Clone
pissed off, right?
You should. Yeah, you are.
But they're the players. They're the players.
Your blood pressure's going up, Glenn. Your blood
Caicedo looks like he's Chelsea, unless we can hijack that deal. But yeah, you're looking 80 million for him alone. And then how much more are you going to spend on players? But that's the kind of quality we need. We need someone like that who has experience. It's top class. We know the job they're going to do. But who knows? Hopefully, we go back to the Fabinho signing from a few years back. Maybe we have someone up our sleeves that we are all ready to go once we get a couple of players off the book, and we get a surprise message on a early morning and no one expected it. But
yeah, but you know what, mate?
Hard to say.
Like, when I text you about it before, everyone's got like a big massive lob on for transfers all the time. It does my tits in, because this idea about just getting rid of, like, well, Fabinho's going to go, Henderson's going to go, but we're going to sign this sexy player from Spain that we don't even fucking know because it's got a nice sexy name. Like, sounds, but you know what? It's actually good having some players that were absolutely mustard for us. Just because they had a poor season last year, every single player other than the goalkeeper had a poor season last year. Don't fucking forget that. So this idea that Fabinho and Henderson are just shite and, we'll get rid of them, but we'll get some fella who over there who sounds sexy and he's going to come in and it's all going to be perfect. And this lad from Southampton, who I'm being harsh on him because I don't really know him, but let's get him. Like, come on, like, just fucking whine your neckins, will you? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to someone.
I think we've got the swear quota already in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry.
Hey Glenn, I just got a message. Saudi bid for Alisson, 80 million. You're right.
The Saudis have got a problem.
It's all right. Adrian's just signed a new contract, so we've got a ready-made replacement.
Saudis are going to become a problem because right now everyone's seeming to be like, we'll send them all our dead wood, right? And everyone's a bit like, we'll give them a Saudi and we'll get them off our wage budget. Tell you what, the next transfer window, they'll be going for your Andy Robinsons and they'll be going for your Van Dijks, and they're going to be looking at it and going,
yeah, for Salah.
Yeah. So the European leagues need to do something about it, to be fair. But I tell you what, where were they when we were trying to get Oxlade-Chamberlain off the wage bill?
And Keita, yeah, exactly. We could have got frigging 60, 70 million.
I know, yeah.
Oh well.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Who do you want in the comments? Like, put a list. If we're gonna unfortunately get rid of Henderson and Fabinho, what do you think? Who do we need as replacements? What do we need to take us to this next level? Because this is going in the next season. We're going in the next season with the Europa League. Surely our target next season has got to be to get back into the Champions League. If you look at the squad at the moment and it's pretty thin, what do you think is needed to add to that? That's going to take us to that top four, competing against Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manx, Villa, even Newcastle, and competitive. Fuck off with who?
Villa? What are we talking about? You know,
Villa did well last season. I would say.
You know what? 3 days ago, I thought we were going to win the league. You're talking about Aston Villa. Just fuck off and end it.
You need to have a little lay down. What were you drinking, Glenn? Are you all right?
Water. Yeah.
Just water. Yeah.
You might need something a bit stiffer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With that, make sure you like, subscribe.
Drink wise.
And have a good one. And who knows what news is going to come out tomorrow. And we're recording this on the Thursday, by the way. So we'll see. All right. Have a good one.